Adonis Creed is a boxer who had a kind of an unlikely story in terms of finding his way to the ring professionally. He's been wrestling with his own personal identity, and we've seen him wrestle with that identity and the legacy of his father, and the fire that kind of burns within him over the course of 2, now 3 films. I think some of the themes that we explore through the character of Adonis are legacy, identity, the idea of self-determination. I think class struggles, are something that we explore through Adonis. He's an African-American character, a Black character in the world of boxing. And I think that it's crazy enough. It's not often explored, fictionally. So that's another element of it as well. The tone of this film has a very there's a very exciting quality to it, but there's also a very reflective aspect to it. This idea of overcoming your own traumas, overcoming your own past and learning how to forgive yourself. That's something that Michael was very interested in. I knew from the moment that I met Mike that it was a matter of time before he would direct. He had a great understanding of story and an ambition to him. A point of view, a belief that certain stories should be out there and it should exist. So I was definitely encouraging him to go for it. So Damian Anderson, played brilliantly by Jonathan Majors, is a friend of Adonis from his life before he was adopted. And I think that's the best way to describe him. He's a little older than Adonis. He was kind of his mentor, kind of a big brother to him. And something happened, and it caused him to go in different directions. So he's coming back, and he's very much a character who brings Adonis's past back with him, and represents a type of reckoning and reflection, that Adonis is kind of forced to go through. It's actually interesting, because their fight styles actually have a lot of similarities, and through the film you learn that Damian was in many ways Adonis's first teacher, when it comes to fighting. I think it's a big surprise for the audience, and so they actually fight. There's some similarities to how they fight. Damian does have some tricks that Adonis hasn't seen before because they've been apart for a little while. And more than the styles of boxing in the ring, Damian is a character who's very crafty. Who's constantly studying, who's constantly trying to suss out the other character's weaknesses and is not afraid to exploit them. They know what gets to you. They know how to push your buttons. And Damian represents all of that for Adonis. He knows things about Adonis that other people don't, that Adonis doesn't want people to know. He knows the secrets. And he also, because they're kind of like siblings, he knows how to rattle him, through mentally. And I think that so much of boxing, so much of any high level performance like this, high level sport is mostly mental. So he knows how to play mind games with him. What Jonathan brings to the character is a warmth, and an emotional connection, and really like a reality to him. This film is also dealing with incarceration. And what that means, what that does to relationships, what that does to a person, what that does to a community, and I think it's handled quite well, and Jonathan's performance is a big part of that. One of the most exciting things about Creed 3 is the character of Mora. She was introduced in Stephen Cable's Creed 2, towards in the second half of the film. And audiences, I think, really connected with the journey that the characters of Adonis and Bianca went on, and just the anticipation of becoming parents, and it was very important to me in the first Creed to have certain elements of deaf culture, in the film, and bringing Amara to life in the film is the young deaf actress Mila Davis-Kent, who does a beautiful job, representing that character, and I think audiences are really gonna fall in love with her. I think what we can look forward to from Mike in this film is a really soulful performance as an actor, and I think a really unique vision as a director. Some of his choices, specifically through the performances of his co-stars and through the visuals, I think are just really brilliant, and I can't wait for folks to see it. Specifically, like on that big screen, some of that IMAX photography is just gorgeous.